Hey guys, what's up? It's Katy and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video, and today we're going to be talking about Mojo again and about his ramp up because he is in fact a ramp up champion. I'm going to show you the difference between when he is not ramped up, his damage output, and when he is ramped up and what he can do. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we're just in Act 5 here, just going down a path, and so you can see Mojo's not really ramped up at all yet. This is the first fight, so we're going up against Angela. And so we have the anti-life field active there. That's why her regen buff wasn't acting too quick. So right now I have a prompt up and it was dash backwards. So I dashed backwards, activated the prompt. So now I have my anti-life field, which means that any buff she has that is going to expire will expire 90% quicker, which you could see there with that regen buff, how it just went right through. So we've got 3 million followers right now. So the name of the game with Mojo is to have as many followers as you can. And so right now we're up to 4 million. So the more followers you have once you launch that special 2, that's how many degens you're going to put on your opponent. Okay, so we ended the fight with about 4 million, I believe it was 4 million followers. So that gave us a subscriber because we had more followers than subscribers. So now we are at 2 subscribers and we're moving on to Drax. So Mojo's damage, it's still not going to be quite where it should be yet. For the first couple fights, he is pretty gimpy, but once you get him at 4 subscribers, or 4 million subscribers rather, his damage output is really gonna start to shine. So right now the prompt is to charge a heavy attack. So I'm just trying to get this special out of Drax. There we go. Waiting for him to come a little bit closer, but it didn't work, but we still got the prompt off. So we've got the anti-life field going, and you could see that little fury buff. So once Mojo is at 5 million followers, if he's awakened, he gets a fury buff that lasts for the duration of the anti-life field. So that's important to really help amp up his damage. So Mojo is a champ that definitely needs the awakening and high sig. So we finished that fight with more followers than subscribers, so we added another subscriber to our persistent charges. So now we are at 3 million subscribers, and so we start the fight with that many followers. So right now, because we activated a prompt, we are at 4 million followers. And so Ronan's kind of, he doesn't have any furies up yet, so, but you can see we put the hater buff onto Ronan, so that acts as a buff. So when you have the anti-life field up, that will shorten the duration of that buff, ergo put degen on him as well. So it's kind of a nice little mechanic that he has in order to get more degen on your opponent, even if that opponent doesn't get buffs. So there's still a workaround for that, so he doesn't necessarily have to be used against champs that have buffs that are expiring, because he will put a buff on that opponent. So Ronan goes down easy peasy, and we finish that with more followers than subscribers. So now we are at 4 million subscribers, which is really where his damage starts to come through. So Cosmic Spidey here is just going to melt. So we have 5 million subscribers, it's not subscribers, excuse me, followers. We've got the use a special attack. Now this can work for either you or your opponent, but Spidey doesn't have one, so I use mine. So now we have 6 followers, which means we put 6 degens on top of Cosmic Spidey, and look at him just melt away. Okay, so now we are on Thor, and we are at max subscribers. We are at 5 million subscribers, which means we cannot drop below 5 million followers, which is good, because at this point in time now, anytime our anti-life field is active, we are going to have that fury buff, because remember, with Mojo, your followers can never drop below your subscribers. So even if you are at 5 subscribers and you fail to activate a prompt, you will not lose followers, which is a good thing. So keep that in mind when you're getting Mojo ramped up. All right, so now we're on to Captain Sparkles, and again, we are at 5 million subscribers, so our count is going to be there, so we are fully ramped up subscriber wise. So now the name of the game is, you know, kind of complete the prompts as necessary in order to get the most degen possible. So there we have the hater buff. We've got 2 hater buffs put on Captain Sparkles. Because we had the anti-life field active, it shortened the buff duration, which means it was quicker in putting a degen on Captain Sparkles, or not Captain Sparkles, excuse me, Captain Marvel. And the name of the game with Mojo is, since his damage output is not that high, but he has high damage over time with that degen. So keep that in mind. So you want more followers to put more degen on your opponent. And so once he gets ramped up, so when he has the 5 million subscribers, you'll start then every fight with 5 million followers, which means when you activate a Degen, you will always have at least 5 million followers. So you'll have 5 Degens to put on the opponent, and you can work your way up based on completing prompts. So you can see there I didn't activate that prompt, and I apologize for that Venom fight not being fully recorded. I ran out of memory space, so I didn't get the full fight recorded. So there we activated that prompt, got the stun on. So we have the anti-life field, the Fury. King Groot is just melting away with Degen. We've got 6 followers. So now we had 5 followers. I can't read. We put on 5 Degens on King Groot. So now we're at 7 followers. And he launches his special, which is fine. So now we are just trying to melt him away with Degen, and down King Groot goes, easy peasy. Okay, so now we're moving on to Carnage, and Carnage can be kind of tricky because sometimes he gets that built-in block proficiency, right? He gets a little block proficiency buff, so he can really take a hit sometimes. So with Mojo, this is great, right? Especially when he's fully ramped up, because that damage over time that he has, that Degen, is really where it's at. And so we have our 5 million followers, our 5 million subscribers. So now it's just pretty much launch that special 2, get the Degen on, and watch them just melt away. Like, if you guys can tell based on the beginning of the fight and these fights here towards the end when Mojo is fully ramped up, how much damage he is really doing, it's pretty impressive. He does a lot of damage over time. He's definitely one up there. It's pretty neat that he is a Degen champ instead of a bleeder. So, because let's face it, not many champs are immune to Degen, and really with Gladiator Hulk is one of the only few that the only one really I can think of off the top of my head that can take Degen, but he can't even fully withstand Mojo's Degen. So I do like this. There's not much that can stand in his way. So you can see at one point in time there with Venom Pool, we had 11 Degens on him. And so now we're moving on to Hype. And Mojo is great for these power gain champs because when you activate a prompt and you shorten that buff duration by 90%, Hype's power gain is just almost instantaneously gone. Like, if you guys saw right there, you pretty much blinked and it was gone. So that helps out a ton because let's face it, Hype is one of those champs that can gain power like crazy with that power gain that he has. So keeping his power gain buff under control and keeping it in check really keeps him in check. Now Black Widow, she's another one of those champs where you're like, how is Mojo going to work against her? She doesn't gain any buffs. Well, she does technically off of her specials, but if you can see, we placed 3 hater buffs on her, which means those are 3 buffs that we can create, or not create, but cause to expire relatively quickly, and then she will get the Degen on because once a buff expires or is nullified, Degen is placed on your opponent. So, I mean, he just completely melted Black Widow. Okay, so Mordo. We all hate fighting Mordo, right? Mordo can be a pain in the butt between his Furies and his power gain and him just kind of being a tool. Not with Mojo. Mojo makes super quick work of this Mordo. And so did you see how quick that power gain was gone? So this is always good. That power gain was there and gone, which is great because we all know Mordo is super defensive in his power gain state. But with Mojo, and once you get him ramped up and his damage is really there, you don't really have to worry about Mordo being super passive because his defensive quote-unquote power gain state is going to be there and gone in a blink of an eye. So Mojo makes super short work of him as he's fully ramped up, and the damage difference between a 1 million subscriber to a 5 million subscriber Mojo is substantial. It basically cuts your hits down in half. But anyways, guys, that's all that I got. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of an unramped up Mojo compared to a fully ramped up Mojo? Do you think he is worth it in the grind or in the crystals? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw and you want to see more, please remember to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and hit me up in the Discord chat. Thanks, guys. Bye.